Wars are won with weaponry, so it's perfectly logical to strive to improve it. In 1943, the Royal Navy Command in England once again found themselves facing a fully expected, yet always so untimely problem: the need to upgrade an important tool of the naval forces, the carrier-based aircraft. The development of a new torpedo carrier fighter was assigned to Westland, a known manufacturer of the multi-purpose Lysander and the Whirlwind fighter. Although the company did not manufacture carrier-based aircraft, it did have a few internal preliminary designs for such a vehicle. These designs were used as a basis for the future aircraft. In as early as the following year, a new prototype of the multi-purpose carrier-based high-speed aircraft was presented, the Westland Wyvern. But presenting doesn't mean producing. Tests began later, in 1946, when there was no longer any urgent need to shoot down enemies. By that time, the army had lost interest in the new vehicle, as it was clear by then that the promising jet-powered aircraft would henceforth dominate the skies. But the project had already, by that stage, seen plenty of effort and funds poured into it, and that meant the Wyvern was fated to exist. Tests and modernization of the aircraft continued right up to 1950. In this time, the vehicle went through 4 models and was equipped with a turboprop engine. Finally, in 1953, the Wyvern was put into service and even had a chance to participate in combat operations during the Suez Crisis. War Thunder now has one of these aircraft's models, the Wyvern S Mk.4, where S stands for strike. The aircraft has an interesting crooked shape. The cabin is placed higher than usual for greater visibility, and the engine exhausts are peculiar for their location on the sides above the rear edge of the wing. The vehicle is part of the British premium aircraft tech tree. The armament of the Wyvern S consists of 4 20mm Hispano Mark V cannons with an ammunition complement of 1,200 rounds, as well as an impressive selection of suspended armaments. The aircraft has the word strike in its name for a reason. Bombs, rockets, more rockets, and even a torpedo. More explosive for the explosives god. To be more precise, bombs weighing 500 and 1,000 pounds, armor-piercing AP Mark I 76mm rockets, and semi-armor-piercing RP-3 Mark I 152mm rockets. The first ones are light, fast, and easier to aim, but their armor-piercing capabilities are not as great. The second ones are slower and clumsier, but have a high explosive content and can deal some serious damage on a direct hit. On top of that, the nearly 7-meter Mark 15 450mm torpedo is capable of sinking a heavy cruiser in one strike. And now for the aircraft's main perk, the powertrain. A 3,670 HP Python turboprop engine. This is the first aircraft in War Thunder with this type of engine. The propeller set is just as interesting. 2 4-bladed contra-rotating coaxial propellers with a diameter of roughly 4 meters. With a Python, the aircraft is capable of reaching up to 650 km per hour, which is not so great a speed, but at the same time, the Wyvern's takeoff weight is almost 10 tons, exceeding 11 when fully loaded. That's the equivalent of 4 Yak 3S. But all you really need to know about this engine is that it makes a really cool sound. The Wyvern can't really brag about its armor. It has only a 13mm armored backrest and 64mm armored glass. As for the rest, the pilot is surrounded by fuel tanks, and practically on all sides. But it's better not to think of that. The aircraft's design, however, is very solid. The wing has 3 longerons on the wing root and 2 in the folding part. Fluttering occurs at 950 km per hour. You can relax and dive at your target or escape from a pursuer, and if the latter gets too distracted, they could lose their aircraft. Since the Wyvern S Mk.4 is a strike aircraft, it should mainly be used to bring down ground and naval targets. It also doesn't matter whether it's a pure dogfight or a mixed battle. The aircraft is just as effective in either case. Its rich arsenal gives you several tactical options to choose from: low-level attacks with rockets or the more traditional dive bombing. There is also an air brake. Let's continue. For sea targets, the aircraft has an excellent complement of 16 rockets and a torpedo. This should allow you to sink quite a few ships. After all, the Navy release is drawing closer, you know? By the way, remember the engine's cool sound we were talking about? Well, it has a significant psychological effect on the player. It immediately becomes clear what's pursuing your tank and which gift it carries under its wing. For air battles, we recommend the hit-and-run tactic. The aircraft is heavy and picks up speed fast when diving, so at the start of high-altitude battle, dive towards distant targets, attack in a few runs, and flee in the direction of your base before the enemy arrives. You can also use the Wyvern to hunt bombers. Its 4 cannons provide excellent fire density, and if you come across a particularly large target and feel you don't have enough firepower, a rocket volley will help you out. Maneuvering engagements, however, are the worst nightmare of those who pilot this aircraft. The vehicle is heavy, really heavy, and it doesn't have enough maneuverability for an active firefight as it takes 32 seconds to turn. The only solution is to try to attack frontally from a great distance, but here, as you know, the chances are 50-50. If you have the option, it's better to escape a battle and pull your opponents to your allies in a gentle dive. On the whole, the Wyvern Mk.4 is an excellent strike aircraft that can become a true pain for ground vehicles when used correctly. More details about the Wyvern Mk.4 can be found in the War Thunder Encyclopedia.